Hello, I'm Al Coritz. I'm Technical Director here at Electron Microscopy Sciences, and today I get to show you how to set up a Quorum TurboQ system in your lab. I want to make sure that everybody gets off to a great start, so rather than reading the instruction booklet, I'm going to show you how to set it up and get going. Alrighty, this is what it looks once you take it out of the box. Put it on a bench top that is sturdy. And for those of you familiar with the previous Quorum coders, the Q series, this has a smaller footprint. It's quite a beautiful looking instrument. And not only is it highly functional, but it's a good looking system with the display here on the front and all the attachments on the back. So now I'll turn the instrument around and show you a close-up of the back and talk about each of the different fittings. All right, here's the back of the instrument. Items to become familiar with. The mains cord plugs in here. It's a special mains cord, so it can be found in the accessories boxes, which I'll show you in a few minutes. This is the main switch for power. This is nitrogen for venting. This is argon for sputtering. This is what the vacuum pump, external vacuum pump, attaches to. It's a standard 16 kF ISO vacuum fitting. The rotary pump is powered through this connector right here, which comes with the system, which again is a special cord. This is the only user available fuse in the system. The only thing that this serves is a fuse for the vacuum pump power. All the other fuses are internal and not so easily accessible. Obviously this is a port for the fan for the cooling of the inside of the instrument. Inside the accessories kit I mentioned before, you'll have a line cord which is sort of rectangular. This goes in the mains on this side of the instrument. This is a power cord for the rotary pump, which goes in here, and then the connections are made at the wall socket or the rotary pump directly. Inside the box with the main unit is the accessory pack. The accessory packs have all the items required to successfully set up and run your coder. Has the mains power cord. It'll have the cord for the rotary pump. It'll have a couple of adapters just in case. It has, oh, look at that, a very nice Allen key tool in there. The tubing and fittings to make your gas connections, as well as associated vacuum clamps. It has the tall stage. And it has the accessory kit for the vacuum pump with the oil mist filter and such. In this box is the stainless steel flexible vacuum line to connect the back of the unit with the rotary pump. There's no reason to go into that. And in this box is other accessories, stages, your target for the system to start up. The system comes with a chromium target standard. Ask your representative to quote you other targets that you may be interested in purchasing to complete the order. System is powered up on the left-hand side. Hit the power switch. The display boots up, and this is a nice touch. You can adjust this so you can see it well. Underneath here is a connector for an internet cable if you decide to adapt, a USB connector, and a micro SD card system so you can update and change software. All right, once the computer boots, you have virtually the same display that was used on the Q series coders, or at least the latter stages, the Q Plus series. Very nice graphic user interface, very user friendly. So the first thing you want to do is during the setup is plumb the gases. A standard regulator. This is a low pressure system and only requires 5 psi, so make sure that your regulator is graduated in low pressure. 0 to 30 psi is really all you need to see on this gauge. I can give you the part number and the vendor for this very nice fitting. Well, it fits right in, you know, any regulator that you might have, and adapts to the metric plastic tubes that we supply with the machine. You can buy a bunch on your own. I don't necessarily sell them. I'd have to put the part number in the system and such, but it's a standard fitting that I buy from commercial vendor. This particular hose has one of the quick disconnect connectors which plugs into the back. If you're going to vent the system not with nitrogen but with argon, you have all the bits in your kit to make this dual connection, so you can plug the argon line into also the nitrogen for venting on the back of the system. Comes with a little T-piece, and what I do is I just cut off several centimeters or inches of tubing and connect the T-piece, and then I'm good to go. It's useful to vent with dry nitrogen, but you can, at a convenience, you can also vent with argon. Just be aware that the vacuum gauge is calibrated for atmosphere, not for pure argon, so you might see a slightly off reading, but it'll correct itself once, you know, the argon leaches out of the chamber or the system is pumped out. Since this is a brand new system out of the box and not my lab demo system, I'm still waiting for that. I don't want to hold up shipments to customers for my demo unit. I am not going to actually run process in this unit, but I'm just going to show you the ins and outs of how to set it up and run it. So right now, the system is shipped under vacuum. So we'll zoom in on the front display. Now, since this is a display that we've been using for a while, there is a separate video on the company YouTube channel that goes into this interface in depth. You hit recipes, and right at the top here, hit the green arrow for vent. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I can certainly hear the system venting. It'll run through its entire vent cycle and automatically shut the gas flow off after the time has expired. Depending on where you are, you might want to go into the vent menu and change the vent time to something longer if it doesn't vent the first try. Sounds like it's sort of vented, and it indeed is vented. Hit the X to X out. Yes, I want to terminate that process. Hit OK. So now we have the ability to open the lid and look at the parts under here. We have a latch to prevent the arm from accidentally falling down. We have the sputter head. If you pull this silver knob out on the front of the chamber, right where the handhold is, and raise this up, you can see under here there's a series of switches which tell the system which insert you have installed. And in this case, the sputter head was installed. Turn these two little knobs just like you did on the Q series coder, and you have the sputter head. You can bring it to your bench top and change targets if you wish. But this is essentially the same as on the Q series. Power cord plugs back in. Lid is brought down and locked. The bell jar comes off like that, allows complete access to the chamber. You know, if you want to clean it or you have to do something. It comes with two different film thickness monitor mounts, so you can use a different arrangement of sample stage, so you can make your sample further away. I showed you already the tall mount, which we'll take out and show. I don't have gloves on right now, so I'm not going to touch the insides. The glass cylinder has a robust safety shield on it. And of course, you always want to make sure that the O-rings are clean and free of debris, so you can pump properly. So let's just put this back on until I break out the items that go inside the chamber. Inside the accessory bag, you have a TurboQ Quick Start Guide, which shows all the steps on how to set it up and connect it. I did omit setting up the rotary pump. That's covered on a separate video on the EMS YouTube site. Tells you how to do all the basic startup procedures and how to fit the sample stage and such. Very nice item. You also have this very handy itemized list of all the components in the accessory kit. This is good to hold on to and not lose in case you have to reorder an item because it disappeared in the lab. Here's the very nifty, cool Allen key you get with the system. Here's the little T adapter for your gas fittings. The spare quartz crystal for your thin film monitor. These are target spacers. They're covered in a different video. These allow you to put thicker targets in the sputter head. They go under the dark space ring, so you don't short your target off to your dark space ring. Here's the tubing and fittings. This is an air filter if you're venting with room air. It's to keep the internal 5-micron air filters free of debris because those are not so easy to get to. But if you're venting with nitrogen or argon, it's not a real problem. There's some vacuum fittings in here, a power cord, and that's pretty much the main accessory kit. I really like this ridge on the back of the bell jar because the old style bell jar, you could set it down and it could perhaps roll. This will prevent it from rolling off the tabletop, unless of course somebody really bumps it and propels it. It's always a good idea to have a spare bell jar in the lab because you know how things go in the laboratory. Accidents do happen. We have them on stock, but it's best to have a spare in your hands. This is the standard stage for this unit. It's a rotation slash tilt stage where you can manually adjust the stage at some particular angle or just perfectly perpendicular. It has a vertical adjustment so you can adjust the height of the stage to match the height of your film thickness monitor and maybe adjust it depending on the height of your samples. So this collar will allow you to slide it down to adjust it to a particular height so you don't have to think about it in the future. If you remove it, you can just put it in there. So you can replace the bell jar now. There's a little flap lid on the FTM. You want to make sure that that is open if you're going to use the FTM. Close the lid. and wake the display back up, and you can select the recipe that you wish to use. There isn't a whole lot of recipes on here, but my video on the use of the graphic user interface will allow you to easily set it up. I highly recommend that you pump the system down and keep it under vacuum when not in use. And we'll let this system pump. This is a higher vacuum system than the Q150T series. It incorporates the manifold for what was the V series of the Quorum Q150 line. It'll automatically pump to desired vacuum, bleed gas for the recipe that you set up, and then go ahead and carry out the process, terminate it, and shut down. So I think that pretty much concludes this video on the TurboQ or rotary Q system setup. It's really quite easy and straightforward. All the other videos that I've already produced as far as operation, whether you're doing carbon or sputtering, all those videos are still valid on the website for the TurboQ, as you would have for the Q150 series. If you need some help, you can consult those videos that are out there already produced, because that part of the system and the human interface really hasn't changed much. Thanks so much for your attention, and have a great day.